Tottenham 1, Aston Villa 2, a absolute disappointing and disaster of a day at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Welcome into Top of the Perch. I am your host, as always, Nick Burt. Of course, last time we saw Tottenham out was that victory at Leeds United right before the international break. Well, the international break has come and gone, and Tottenham Hotspur is back to being, well, Tottenham Hotspur. I don't really even know which direction I want to go with this game, because there were moments where it felt like Tottenham were doing quite well, and then there were just moments they just seemed completely tuned out and asking ourselves, what are we doing, basically. One of those moments where they actually seemed to be doing quite well was, I'd say, the first 15 minutes. Tottenham very much controlled the start of this game. Felt like they were the ones that had all the opportunities. Just felt like they were truly taking hold of this match early on. It was basically off a corner in the 5th minute that was forced on a play by Matthijs Tel. Corner gets thrown into the box, bounces around. I believe it ends up finding Spence, who gets to Mohamed Kudus, gets it to Paulinho in the box. Paulinho heads it back towards the penalty spot where Rodrigo Bentancur is basically waiting with a wide open net. He slams it into the back of the net. It is 1-0 Tottenham just 5 minutes into this game. And like I said, first 15 minutes, it felt like Tottenham were just absolutely dominating this game. Just everything under control. No need to worry about it. Everything seemed very good. There was a quick, offsides check. Nothing comes of it. But Tottenham Hotspur, off to a flying start coming out of the international break, go up 1-0. And like I said, the next few minutes, it felt like Tottenham were, doing quite well. They forced a few more opportunities. They had a second goal right off the restart, but there was an offsides. Mohamed Kudus denied his first home goal for Tottenham Hotspur. Beautiful build-up. It's just that it was an offsides. But kind of past that moment, everything kind of shut down a little bit. It would be just felt like Aston Villa slowly kept creeping into this game more and more. We get to the 37th minute. Morgan Rogers launches just a strike of a shot to the far post from outside the box. Levels this game at 1-1. Vicario it is what it is. He probably wasn't making a save on that, but again, a rocket of a shot. It's 1-1 Villa. And like I said, it kind of just gradually fell apart after that first 15 minutes, and Tottenham never really got back to that point at all. So although they went into the halftime break level at 1-1, never really felt like, unless changes were made, there was going to be a threat of it becoming 2-1 Tottenham. Felt like it was going to become 1-2 Aston Villa. So we go into a halftime break. I thought maybe we get a halftime change, bring on Richarlison maybe. I don't know if he's going to play the full 45 second half. Depends. They don't do that. They run out the same squad that we saw in the first half. And it was more of the same. So it, as you would expect, gradually and slowly, more and more, Aston Villa get more possession of the ball. And changes start to get made. I believe 62nd minute ended up being when Richarlison got brought on. But it wouldn't matter in the end. I know there was a potential penalty shout at some point between there. It wasn't a penalty. But they thought it was. Get to the 77th minute. Buendia it was just another kind of outstanding strike from outside the box. And it's 2-1 Aston Villa with just under 15 minutes to play. Tottenham really couldn't do anything past that. Aston Villa walk away with all 3 points here. Like I said, I mean, it's absolutely disappointing. A game where it felt like we should have at least got a point from the form that, Villa were in prior to the break. Felt like we had to get at least a point. That doesn't happen. Drop all 3 points. Disappointing. So, given that, let's take a look at the player ratings today. A lot of orange scattered across the board. We start up top with Mathis Tell. Not the best of days from him. It still looks like he's trying to figure out the system alongside a lot of these players, honestly. Like, they kind of seemed a little bit lost out there today. But I don't get paid to manage this club. It's not like I get paid to do these either. I do these out of my fun free time because I love this club. So, it is what it is. Tell, not the best of days. But honestly, not the best of days from the whole attacking line and the defense either. Let's be honest here. It wasn't that great. Wilson Odegaard, 6'2", Xavi Simons, 6'7", and Mohamed Kudus, 6'8". Xavi Simons, he's playing in the position he should be playing in. It just looks like, he's struggling just to get passes, and when he gets the ball, he's struggling to find somebody to get passes to. And this seems to be an issue kind of a lot with Tottenham, if we're honest, but not great. Mohamed Kudus looked like one of the better players out there today for Tottenham. At least on the attack, he was, I thought, the best player that they had, barring, when we get into our 2 defensive midfielders, who I thought were the 2 best players on the field today. Kudus, I thought, had a decent game. It was a real shame that he was offsides because that could have changed his game quickly if Tottenham would have got a second goal that quickly. It is what it is. Joao Palhinha, he gets a 7-5. He earns the man of the match. I just thought, even though he didn't get the goal, thought he was the best player Tottenham had out there today. And that is becoming kind of common play for Tottenham, which I don't know if you want to look at that as a positive or a negative, given that he is a loanee player right now. The fact we have spent money on a lot of players and they aren't, performing. I don't know if you want to look at that as positive or negative. I know we have a obligation to buy with Palhinha and we'll probably trigger it. So that will be somebody we spend money on. But again, he looked he looked incredible out there today. Very good player. I don't really have much else to say other than that. Rodrigo Bentancur, a 7-4. He got that goal today. Thought he did decent. Obviously, that score is being helped a lot by that goal. But overall, like I said, I thought Palhinha and Bentancur were the 2 best players Tottenham had out there today. Jed Spence on the left today because Destiny Udogi's not even in the squad. I guess he's made of glass and picked up another injury. A 6-6. Wasn't the best of days. I don't know what you want me to take away from that. Mickey Van de Ven, a 6-8. Kevin Donzo is 6'4". Kevin Donzo gets a very late start as Christian Romero was supposed to get the start today. I guess gets injured in pregame. What the extent to that is, I have no idea. But Donzo gets the start. I don't know what to make of this back line. It very much shows when you don't have Christian Romero out there. I know Mick Van de Ven's really good, but I think they both need each other. And then Pedro Porro on the right, a 6.6, and Vicario gets a 5.2. It is what it is with him. I worry about him a lot of the times. I get that he's having bangers scored on him, it seems like every game, but it still feels like he should be doing more. Still seems like he really struggles with his feet when he's played the ball or when he's trying to play the ball. Kind of like he just doesn't fit Frank's system. I guess we'll see. It's only October. We still got a lot of games to go here, but yeah. Richarlison got subbed on, like I said. I believe it was the 60th minute. Gets a 6.3. Bergvall and Ranal Kolomulani get subbed on in the 79th minute. It's good to see Kolomulani back after basically being injured between the September international window and the October international window. So it was good to see him get some play time. Neither of them did enough, obviously, to do anything worth, getting a higher rating. Brendan Johnson, Popsar, both got subbed on in the 86th minute. Obviously, too late to get a grade in this game. So, given that, Tottenham returned to European competition this Wednesday as they traveled down to the Principality to take on AS Monaco. I know they sacked their manager during the international break, Adi Huller. New manager bump? I don't know. I guess we'll see. That should be a very fascinating game for Tottenham Hotspur. I always like watching Monaco. They always seem to be doing something interesting in the footballing game. It's going to be interesting to see them take on Tottenham come Wednesday. So given that, we will be back, of course, on Wednesday to recap that here on Top of the Perch. Thank you so much for watching. If you just stumbled across this video, click like, click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it. Like I said, we'll be back Wednesday, recap that Champions League match against Monaco. So thank you so much for watching. We will see you again soon for another episode of Top of the Perch.